I remember as a child that whenever we used to travel, the macaroons from La Jure were like something we'd always look forward to.
When I got to know that they want to come to India, it was my opportunity because I love the brand personally.
So, what really convinced you that the Indian market was ready for a French patisserie like La Jure?
All the brands are now looking to come to India. I believe we have come at the right time because Indian consumer is actually looking for the quality.
Expanding a global brand of this nature into the Indian market would have come with its own set of challenges. How did you manage to overcome them?
I would say my biggest challenge started with the signing of the brand. 2020 I signed this brand and COVID hit.
Businesses like these tend to be capital intensive and require a long term vision.
As an entrepreneur as a whole, you need to understand everything, and if your finances are not right, you can't work.
Absolutely. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Happy Hour with Fin Cocktail. Today we have a first time entrepreneur Chandani Nath Israni with us. She has successfully managed to bring a legacy brand like La Jure from Paris to India. So let's hear about her story. Hi Chandni, welcome to our show. So glad you could be here.
Thank you so much.
So Chandni, tell me a little bit about yourself. From a family owned business to launching La Jure in India, what really sparked your interest in the food and beverage space?
So, if I would start my early journeys, how I started because I had seen my dad while growing up. He's an ex army officer, from an army man to a business family now. He started his own journey and he struggled, hustled, and made a huge business what we have in the background. So, I had always seen that. So, when seeing him as a self made businessman, I always wanted to be having my own identity, just not known by someone's daughter or someone's wife. I wanted always to be recognized with my own self, that one person should know me who I am today. So Lajare is a brand, it's a great brand. So when I started it and when I got to know that they want to come to India, they were looking for the partners for India. It was my opportunity because I love the brand personally.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
how.
that's I think is one brand that we've all sort of seen when we were only traveling abroad. And I remember as a child that whenever we used to travel, the macaroons from La Jure were like something we'd always look forward to.
So that is
wherever
while,
we'd see.
in fact, for us also, when we were growing up, we used to go to Paris or London, get the macaroons for our friends and family
Yeah.
back at home.
Yeah.
So this was my opportunity that I found that they were looking for a partner for India. And it was a time that they were entering India.
Yeah.
And managed to grab that.
Lovely, lovely. So, what really convinced you that the Indian market was ready for a French patisserie like La Jure?
See, if it would have been, we would have had a conversation 15 years back. I would doubt, yes, there would be a gap then because that was very early for India at that time. But now, with the kind of globalization, our economy is growing. India is the biggest economy now and a growing economy. The average consumer, their disposable income is increased. So that is a time when all the brands are now looking to come to India. And I believe we have come at the right time because Indian consumer is actually looking for the quality. That when we go abroad, they look for, okay, why don't we have this kind of a brand in India? And now you have that.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Expanding a global brand of this nature into the Indian market would have come with its own set of challenges. How did you manage to overcome them? Give us a few examples.
I would say my biggest challenge started with the signing of the brand.
Okay.
2020, I signed this brand and COVID hit. So this brand is actually conceived while
COVID was
COVID
ongoing.
completely. And second of all, my biggest challenge was I'm not from an F&B background. I'm no chef. And throughout the COVID time, I was just learning because we had to delay the opening for
Right.
almost 1.5 years. And that was a time I utilized in learning from kitchen consulting to how food is made, what is all about every little detail. So that was my biggest challenge of finding the right fit for the market, because COVID had
Happened at that point in time.
had happened at that time. And when we were launching the brand, the Delta wave hit 2021.
Right.
And I remember the challenges were we used to go in PPE kit when the outlet was getting made, because to get the shipment to India at that time was
Big challenge.
it was something else, I would
Right.
say. When I recall that journey, and I still remember that day, 2021, 19 September, when we launched. First day, I had first time in my eyes tears because that was a time I saw there were kilometers long of line. And you seeing your dream into reality because you worked throughout COVID
Yeah.
and not from an F&B background.
Yeah.
Literally, people were thinking that I would fail
Yeah.
because, everyone was wondering, who is she?
Yeah.
How come a brand like this come to India with her, and she's had the guts and audacity where the world was shut down, she's opening a brand.
Yeah.
And that too as a scale of lingerie.
Wow. So your first outlet was in Delhi?
Delhi, Khan Market.
Okay. And since then, how many other outlets have you all expanded to?
So we've opened in Gurgaon, we've Mumbai, Pune, Calcutta,
And all
Hyderabad.
of them have been managed by you.
All are company owned, company operated, all managed by us.
And what's the model like? Do you import all the goods from Paris, or is it
So-
that you manufacture them here?
Yes. So macarons are a special recipe, which what you're eating in London or Paris or Dubai,
It all tastes the same.
it's all tastes the same, but it's coming from the central lab,
Okay.
which is in Paris.
Okay.
So that is a secret recipe that we don't share because we are the inventor for macarons.
Okay.
And the largest producers for macaron. And all ingredients are organic and natural. So that's why lingerie macarons are what it is today. What you're eating in Paris, you're eating the same here.
Right.
So only the macarons, rest other ingredients we have sourced it with local farmers, with organic vegetables and all organic products.
Wow. So they're literally manufactured locally.
Locally at our central lab in Noida.
Oh, amazing. And from there, it gets dispatched to all the other cities.
All the other cities, and then we have the mini labs in every city.
Okay. That's amazing. So, Jani, the Indian market can be hard to crack because somehow or the other, Indians love to Indianize things. Like, for example, even Chinese that you taste in India is nothing like Chinese food because it's Indian Chinese. So, in this case, how have you managed to adapt the flavors to suit Indian preferences?
So India is so diverse. Every city you have to tweak something or the other.
Okay.
But I didn't want it to ruin the DNA of the brand because it carries a legacy. And today, the Indian consumer is traveling so much. They know what the brands. You cannot fool an Indian consumer now anymore.
Absolutely.
What it used to be earlier. We made sure that yes, there is a marriage between India and Paris in a way of French brand that we incorporated a chicken tikka club sandwich.
Oh, wow.
That was an inculcation that the team together, because we wanted to Indianize something
Right.
which is a typical flavor. And that is the only thing that we tweaked. And rest, obviously, the taste buds are very different. Like North Indians, we love spicy.
Spicy food. Right.
We love spicy. And somewhere in Calcutta, we want to tweak more with the fish. So that's how we tweak within India.
Okay.
Otherwise-
and you have a free hand to do all of this.
We have chefs. We have definitely we do it in cooperation with the international as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So understanding consumer behavior, I believe, is a little bit of an ongoing study for you.
I am every time studying.
Yeah.
I am literally for a consumer. I firstly consider myself as a consumer.
Yeah.
So when I take myself, okay, when I enter a coffee shop, how do I need to be treated as?
Yeah.
So that's how I inculcate in my team.
Right.
So consumer study is very important. So that is, I'm learning every day.
Right. So now you've managed to expand this brand from just one outlet in Delhi to pan India. Tell us a little bit about that journey. How difficult or easy was it? And what were the challenges that you faced in a pan India expansion of this sort?
So, difficulty for every entrepreneur is when you're expanding pan India. So, we take very minute steps.
Okay.
So, when I expanded in Delhi, I gave it a little time. We opened in Gurgaon. After that, the first outlet which outside Delhi we launched was in Geo World Plaza
Okay.
in Mumbai.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest step because I was opening in the best mall of India and in now considered to be in Asia because it is the mall.
Yeah.
And opening there with the main atrium cafe was again, and I was just, we gave that 1 year time to that outlet to understand the consumer. I was studying the consumer of Mumbai because I'm not from Mumbai. And I was studying Mumbai consumer, how they want a brand to be placed, as well as the taste. Plus, with different cities, I would say, not that challenging though. But yes, logistically, we have to face, because the macaron is a very delicate product. So, to how do you ship it logistically, that was the biggest challenge as well.
Okay.
But so far, we've been uh, fine.
Great, that's amazing to know, yeah. And now I say this from personal experience because Saili and me both are women entrepreneurs. We used to work corporate jobs. We decided to make that switch, start our own business, and we faced a lot of challenges along the way. Especially in the field of finance, women somehow don't get to have their say or be taken very seriously. So, as a woman, we've had our fair share of challenges. I'm sure it's been similar for you as well in your industry. So, tell me about a few challenges that you faced while growing the brand.
So, my biggest challenge was obviously with the woman entrepreneur, there are always challenges. Because if I start with my journey, before Lajare, I had a lot of failures because nobody was believing in me that I would be able to grow a brand like that. So probably I think 3 to 4 years I had constant rejection. Any brand I approached to, either they used to tell me you don't have F&B experience. If it is a fashion brand, you don't have a fashion experience, you don't have a retail experience. You're a young mother because I have two small kids, and you're a young mother. How will you be able to manage the entire work as a whole? So that was my challenge, firstly. I had gone for, there was a small instance I'll share. I'd gone for a meeting for some location. And I remember I met a person and he told me, so will you get your decision maker next time? And I was just zapped, and my team was with me. And I just looked 5 minutes blank. I said, what decision maker you're talking about? He was actually talking about my husband
yeah,
or a man,
a man.
that I can bring across. And that was my time. And I said, I'm sorry. And I had to walk out of that meeting because forget about that location. I don't want that.
Yeah, you don't
But
want to work
if
with
you,
a person
if you
with
don't
that
want
kind of a
so,
mindset.
so till today, you get to hear things like that.
Yeah.
And people still feel that whether you'll be able to manage work, home, kids, everything all together.
Absolutely.
So every day when I go to work, I'm still proving myself to, I don't know
Whom?
to whom, but to myself, I'm proving myself.
Yeah.
Because when I started, there were a set of people who thought that I would not be able to sustain a brand. I would fail. Okay. Then they were say, okay, let it be 1 year, she will definitely shut shop. Okay. That didn't happen. Okay, once she'll expand to Mumbai, definitely she will fail. It was like that. So every
Step along
time
the
I
way.
was step along, and there were calls, actually, there were genuine calls to my family that what is this girl doing? She can probably fail. She will lose all her money that she's invested. But I think I overcome that a lot because I had that passion to run for this work and be something to get on my own. And today, with Ladure expansion in such a short period of time, and the tie-ups that we have with such amazing five-star hotel, so it is something that I feel happy.
You can only be proud of.
I feel happy.
Yeah.
So it's just I always say I've just begun.
Right. Now, you spoke a little bit about losing the money. Now, luxury businesses like these tend to be capital intensive and require a long term vision. How have you managed to sort of, um, you know, work with that kind of risk and make sure that the financial planning is in place?
See, any business require obviously that initial seed investment, and that, as I just spoke about my journey with COVID, we invested in that, and I always wanted to pursue this business and learn because every business come with their own risk, and that was the risk I took and made sure that the finances is something to keep right quality checks, right accounts, and make sure all the inventory is up to the mark. So making sure the numbers are right. So that is something, and I sit with on the P&L to minute from top line to the bottom line,
Yeah.
making sure the P&L is right per store and corporate both.
Wow. So you take interest in the finance side of things as well.
Entrepreneur, I call myself, I have no designation
Yeah.
in my organization. So I call myself from a marketing manager to an accountant to SCM to F&B, except a chef. I am all. So that is my designation in my organization because as an entrepreneur as a whole, you need to understand everything. And if your finances are not right, you can't work.
Absolutely. And I just, out of curiosity, I want to ask you, what really sparked your interest in the food and beverage space?
I've come into food and beverage by default.
Okay.
Is because, firstly, we are Punjabis and we love food. It is in our DNA that we love food. So, whenever we are traveling, we are experiencing new restaurants, new areas, new stores. And then I eat, we see, and that was something I think so that was inside me in a way to explore this.
Amazing. So tell me, did you have any tough financial decisions that you had to make along the way while growing La Dure in India?
So my financial decision, the toughest was something of making the macaroon pricing right
Okay.
in India because it's our hero product. And right now, till now, we are the cheapest from even Dubai or London.
Oh, are you
Our
serious?
macarons.
That's
Till
amazing.
now.
In India?
In India. So that was something because for me, if my pricing is right, for macaron especially, I can capture more market. So I did a personal research within India, traveled, who are selling the macaroons
Yeah.
and at what pricing. But eating a Ladure macaroon is very different because we are using completely natural ingredients. And for that quality, the pricing that we are quoting is at par. So that was my toughest decision because I had to capture not the 1% of the society that was already my customer, but the 25%, which is the aspiring people.
Potential customers.
Potential. They are the people who want a Ladure experience, a borderless experience, I would call it.
That's amazing. That's a nice way to put it, a borderless experience.
Yeah.
So there's so many people in India who must be in a similar situation that you were in when you started off with La Dure. What is one piece of advice that you'd like to give them?
So, to all the women, I want to give only one advice that there are no excuses that today that even if you have a kid or you're a wife, or you're a homemaker, you can still be an entrepreneur, or you can still run a business. You just need to pursue your dreams. It's absolutely fine. There is, we as women, we are entrepreneur. It's in our DNA because we are running a house. Because to run a house is not easy. To run a family is not easy. So I would say pursue your dreams. We can make out time for even for ourselves today, that after some years we look back and, oh, I wish I could have done this, but then it is too late probably. So there is no I don't believe there is no age now that, oh, if we had to start a business, I wish we would have started when we were young. We can start even today, even at 40 years old, 50 years old. We can start any time. It's just the drive and the passion that you have to run for. And I am sure any person can do that. So I would really advise, just run for your passion, fulfill your dreams, so that tomorrow there is, and sometimes live for yourself also, because that is most important. If you are happy, so I have always had one theory when I had my first child, that if the mother is happy, the child is happy.
Absolutely.
That is my philosophy always. So when I am happy, I know my child is also happy. If I'm cranky at home and I'm not happy at home, how can my child, I can give that positivity to my child. So that brings the whole ambience in the house.
Yeah.
And that's what I inculcate in my daughters also. I have two daughters. So I inculcate in them that, yes, tomorrow you also need to make your own name. Not just you will be known by your father's name, definitely, or by your husband, but tomorrow you need to mark your own name. So that is what, for women, I need to give that advice to.
Absolutely. This amazing piece of advice that you've given us. Now, tell me a little bit on the business side of things. What are the steps that you're taking to make sure that La Dure is a brand that is growing sustainably? You know, it is a brand that will continue to grow, that will continue to expand in the country, and that will be here for generations.
Yes. So this brand had been there for more than 160 years. It's a legacial brand. It had always been there. I was also not a part of it at that time. And to make sure it is still running the same and will run in future, firstly, till the time it is with me, I would say I make sure that the quality is the key ingredient in F&B. People will come back only if you get a good quality now. They will not come back, okay, one time they will buy, but second time they will not buy any for either the coffee or the food if they don't get the quality. And for us, the quality checks are very important that I work on. There are very stringent SOPs that we do. There are audits, like literally in every outlet, there's a weekly audit that we do. That is the thing that we invest in.
Right.
And personally, for me, my quality checks are my kids. So as a mother, that comes a maternal instinct. I say when my kids go from school, sometimes they go to the cafe and to eat food or to have a dessert with their friends. I said they are my biggest quality checks, because if I'm giving the food to my kids today, likewise, other kids are also coming.
Right.
So that is my biggest thing that I check, because you give always the best products to your kids. You know,
Absolutely.
as a mother, you make sure you're giving the best things to your child. And that is what my brand cutoff. That if I'm giving something to my own kids, likewise, other kids are also coming. And they love the brand. So many kids, they come from school and they just go to Khan Market, to the cafe, okay, buy the macaroons. And we make sure that quality is sustained. So that is what I inculcate in the brand, and I tell the team also, because it is something that we don't compromise on.
Absolutely. So tell me, what role does brand positioning play? Because this is a luxury product, but you're also making it available at a decent price, which people can actually think of spending. How have you managed to position the brand such?
So that is something I really work on because we are not out there, yet we are still a part of a consumer lifestyle. It's an aspirational brand. Today, when people come to Lajure, they click pictures. So a small instance happened when we opened Lajure first time. We opened in Khan Market, it was September. November onward, we started getting a lot of complaints that your coffee is cold, your cappuccino is thanda. I was wondering what is happening. Your coffee is thanda, you're
The
getting
weather
because
must be so chilly that.
it's not that.
Okay.
So I went to the outlet because I personally handle all the complaints, customer grievances myself.
Oh, that's amazing.
I went to the outlet in Khan Market. I asked the team, I said, why are we getting this complaint that your coffee is thanda? And one of the waiter, he put up his hand. He's like, ma'am, can I say something? I said, please. They're like, ma'am, we give the coffee to the consumer. And 15 minutes, they're clicking pictures with every angle, getting the L logo and placing it right. Obviously, will get cold. I was wondering, I said, that's true. And then I looked around. Definitely, when people are going to Lajure, they're clicking a picture
Yeah.
of the coffee, and that is that aspirational bit.
Yeah.
That was a thing that, yes, I have to be present in almost all the cities because we get so much love from all the cities in India.
You have multiple retail outlets, primarily in the larger cities, the tier one cities. How is it that you bring about innovation in your retail outlets?
So in Lajure, we have different formats, right from a salon to a retail to a cafe to a cart. So there are 4 different concepts that we have it at Lajure. So when we are testing a market, we always test with just sending a cart by only macaroon. We know when our hero product is doing great. That's how we test a market for 3 months or a 6 months pop-up that we do because the capex is not much. We have our cart, which is again coming from abroad, and we put it up there with the macaroon and retail product because 60% of our sales comes from retail. And that's how we test a market with different concept. At like in Ritz-Carlton, Pune, we have a cafe, a full-fledged salon. In Calcutta, we have a cafe. It's in the Quest Mall. Geo World is salon again. So different concept in different cities. That's how we choose
Okay.
which concept will work better in a city.
Okay. And when it comes to expanding in the tier 2 cities, what is your plan for that? How do you manage to reach the masses in those cities?
I would say our 50% of our sales from caterings come from tier 2 cities.
Oh.
Cities like Meerut, Bhubaneswar, Sikkim, Raipur. I can't even name those cities sometimes when the caterings actually come from, and a big time caterings. We can imagine that a big catering has come from Mumbai or Delhi or Calcutta. But when we know that a catering is coming from Bhubaneswar or Sikkim or Meerut, that is where we know that the customer is looking for quality, premium products. And that is how we tend to expand to those cities then.
Wow. Okay,
So-
so when you talk about catering, it means that a wedding or some kind of an event or a function.
Yes.
Okay.
It is someone's parents' 25th wedding anniversary in Meerut. They did that. In Bhubaneswar, it was a daughter's wedding. They wanted a full Lajure breakfast. They did that. So it different concepts that people look for. Somebody looks only, we want milkshakes or coffee or croissant. That is a kind of caterings that we do, but we have a separate division of caterings, and that's how we know that the tier 2 cities are also ready for Lajure.
Amazing. So tell me, if you were to explain to somebody or tell somebody about the brand La Jure, how would you put it across? What would you tell them? What is the essence of Ladure?
It's a legacyal brand, but when I tell somebody you have to come and experience this brand, this is why we are not on any e commerce right now. For a reason that I wanted people to come to the space, experience Lajure, because the customer experience starts as soon as you enter. And that is what the training is given to the staff, that yes, you have to a big smile, welcome, because any consumer who's coming to the brand, to a coffee shop, they are looking for an experience.
So, Chani, what has your relationship with money been like? How do you manage your business finances? How do you manage your personal finances?
I would say money is obviously very crucial part of our life. That is
It is everything.
It is everything. To manage those, I have some. We do obviously. There is investments. There has to be, as I said earlier, I look into the P&Ls from top line to the bottom line. If the top line is not doing great, sometimes because F&B is not constant 12
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
It has to be. There are 3 months of lull period when it is summers, and then there is a good time. So when we have the not a great period, we look at the bottom line at that time, and then cut across the costs. So that is something we work on, making sure that the percentage our EBITDA is absolutely at par to sustain the company. Because as a growing firm, you need money invested, because it's until unless and the in normally in any business 3 years is completely you're putting your money completely, and then comes your break even, and then comes your scaling. So that is my fundamental that I'm running towards, and I'm working towards it. So, and personally, of course, I'm as a woman, you are in your, it's in our DNA to save,
Yeah.
and that's how I
But
do.
do you also invest? Like, do you
I
invest
do. I'm learning.
Okay. That's
So
great.
now
That's
I'm learning
Great to know.
to how to invest, where to invest, what to invest.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm adapting now.
Amazing. Amazing. Great. This was such a fabulous conversation. I'm so glad you could make it to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Hi, I'm Chandni Nath Israni. I had a great episode today coming with Niyati and at Fin Cocktail. So please do follow and stay tuned for more.